Yeah, Sirski. Hold on, let me see something. Doing a part two. Ooh. Hold on. Turn my mic, my Bluetooth. Sirski. Sirski. Mm-hmm. What's good? What's good? What up? Marcellus Richardson. I ain't seen Marcellus Richardson in a minute. What's the deal? DJ Starboy, what's up? Alex, what's going on? Kelvin Birch, what up? Yeah, I'm just continuing the conversation earlier. I got about a good hour I can give y'all before I take a nap. I gotta hit the streets tonight, man. I gotta step out tonight for an event. What up, Fly Guy Hachi? What up? I've been driving everything you live. You've been driving everything I live? You've been driving every time. Oh, you mean probably mean every time I'm live. I feel you. You gotta throw it in the Bluetooth, big dog. You gotta turn your Bluetooth on, big dog. Your Bluetooth. You gotta activate that Bluetooth. You smell me? You've been missing some good cook-ups, man. Ooh, I got one coming. Listen, I got a cook-up that's coming. That it's finna be so nasty. Oh, you be listening? All right, that's all good. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. What's the drawing? Doing my thing with the box truck throughout the weekdays and thinking about the future, big bro. Praise. All right, you gotta do what you gotta do. Just bought that Sam Walton audio. Yeah, you gonna enjoy that one. I'm telling you, that's gonna change your whole perspective. Jeremiah, I drove. When you was staying with your mom, did you have to pay some bills? My mom made me pay 700 a month. I'm 22, so yeah, absolutely not. My OG didn't make me pay nothing. I had to pay nothing, nothing at all. I ate, man. She cooked some fire spaghetti on Sundays. She cooked the greens, put the little ham hock in there, you know, cooked them greens, them turnip greens. You dig what I'm saying? Them pinto beans, them lima beans. You dig what I'm saying? Fried that chicken, baked that chicken. Got good Sunday dinners. Got good dinners. I come in late. I have to warm me some food up. She'll put me some food in the refrigerator, put the foil over it. You dig what I'm saying? And I got to eat. I got to sleep. I got to use the bathroom. Everything was on the house. It was free, and that was the biggest investment. I feel like she could have, even if she was in a position to give me money, which she probably was. You know how them boomers are. They act like they broke and they be sitting on a bag. Um, uh, I think what she allowed me to do by continuing to live there without having to pay bills enabled me to, and luckily for me that I was smart enough to reinvest back into the business because I didn't have living expenses to pay. $700 really ain't that bad. Not everybody's situation is going to be the same, but if your mom is making you pay 700, then I mean that ain't bad in comparison to what it is out here. Do I think it's right for you to pay? Listen, different strokes for different folks. Maybe your mom is trying to teach you some form of responsibility. I can't really answer if it's right or wrong. I think if it's right for her, then it's right for the situation. my situation, my mother, she allowed me to go out and do what I wanted to do. And if I fell on my face and fell, I would have a place to come back to. Here's what she told me, because I remember going. It was times throughout um, the beginning stages where I would go to her, and she said, "Well, if I loan you money and you fail, now we both in a bad predicament. At least if you go out there and fail, you got a security blanket. If I invest in you and you fail, that means now who I got to fall back on." She was right. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, "Figure it out. You're gonna figure it out," and I figured it out. And she was right. You know what I'm saying? That was the best thing. And God willing, when I have kids, I'm gonna allow my kids to go out. They can stay at the crib as long as they want. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna allow them to go out. And if they fall on their face, they have the security blanket here. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. So I can't really say if it's right or not. I got homies who parents charged them. I got homies who parents didn't charge them. To each his own. I don't know. Maybe she's charging you because that 700, you know, that can go towards the expenses there, and it can kind of alleviate maybe some of the expenses for the house for her. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's situation is different. I can't really say, if it's right or if it's wrong. I make $5,000 a month as a CDL truck driver. 5,500 a month. I mean, then you could kick in 7,000. I mean 700. Or you could live on your truck and just tell her you ain't gonna live there no more, so you can keep that 700. But 700 in today's times really ain't no bread, big dog. I ain't finna hold you. I ain't gonna never say, if it's right or wrong. That's your mom, so moms is always right. Even when they wrong, they right. A lot of shit that my mom told me back in the day, and I just didn't understand it. But as I grew and I got older and I got wiser, I said, okay, that's why she told me, listen, if your mom is telling you that, then she's right. Whatever she's doing, she's right. Because it'll be times, I'm telling you, when you think your mom is tripping and you just continue to live and you're going to see everything she told you was right. I can't remember a time my OG told me something and it was wrong. Not one time. And I'm not saying that because she my OG. I'm telling you that because she told me, she's like, you ain't got no friends. You got a few friends. And guess what? A lot of people that I thought was my friends, they ain't no longer my friends. I got a handful of friends and I have fingers left over. Everything she told me, she was right. I just didn't see it. And it might have not been right at that moment. It might have not been uh, 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 right at that moment, but it was right. It wasn't the fact that she wasn't right. It was just wasn't right now at that moment. Some things had to play out. So, so yeah, if she's charging you that, then I have to agree with her. Should I start with a cargo van? I think you should start with what you got. If you got a car, start with a car. Start doing gig work or take a local route with a car. Go to your 3PL and get a car route. Do a medical carrier route in your car. Do an e-commerce route in your car. Work from there, build up from there, stack your money from there and work what you got. I started with what I had. So and I worked up from there. You just wanted to get my opinion? Yeah, I think you should, 700 ain't bad, man. 700 ain't bad. You know, that's a little under $200 a week. You can kick that back to the OG. Anthony, well, Alexander Bryant. Wait, hold on. Alexander Bryant said it's not right. Listen, if it's right for his mom, it's right for everybody else. We ain't nobody in here in the position to tell somebody else's mom what's right or what's wrong. And that's the real. I'm not finna never, whatever person's mom says, you know, I think is right. Shit. I don't, you know, I have utmost respect for people's mothers because I want people to have the same respect for my mother. So I don't disrespect people's moms. I don't disrespect people's wives because I know how to get. You do something, say something crazy, I ain't gonna say nothing, and that's all I'm gonna say. So if your mom did that, then I respect her opinion. Jeremiah says I like your YouTube channel, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, moms is always right. I don't never disagree with moms. You know what I'm saying? What's going on though, man? It's Truck Talk, man. Part two. I got an hour to kick it with y'all. Then I gotta take a little hour and a half nap. Then I gotta get up and get dressed and get out in these streets. Do you still drive a box truck? No, sir. Ski. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. What do you think about the DAT load board for cargo van? I think if you can find some partials off there, it'll work. I don't think it'll be. I mean, you may have more options than some of the other load boards, but you got a cargo van, so you have limited capacity, no matter how you look at it. So, me, I'm not a fan of going OTR in a cargo van. Pretty much everybody that follows my channel knows that. And so, it's things I champion, and there's just things that I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of going OTR in a cargo van. I'm not a fan of starting a trucking business with an LLC. You know what I'm saying? And then there's things I champion. I champion moving. I champion things that are more labor intensive but more rewarding. So there's things that I really champion, and then there's things that I'm just totally against. You know, so and going OTR in a cargo van is just one of them. But I still have a large following of people that go cargo van, that have cargo vans that go OTR. They respect my opinion, I respect theirs, and they still get some type of value from the channel. Pippi says either way is right. She could be putting the money back, and that's why I'm saying you can't go against your mom. She could be charging you that 7 and putting that 7 up for you and not telling you, so that when you run into a jam, she could be like, all right, loan you the money, but she loaning you the money that she been stockpiling for you. See, that's what I'm saying. You can't really agree or disagree with moms because moms, they'll be doing shit and not telling you. You know what I'm saying? You are their child, so they know you may just not be good with money. So that $700, she may just be banking that for you, so that if you run into a situation, it's there. You won't know. She's not going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And the thing with moms is they gonna hold to that shit. Even when they see like, man, you really could use it, she might just say, man, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out, figure it out. So you never know. So Pippi is absolutely right. Same, I'm looking to probably own an out with T-Force doing Home Depot since I do much HD with OD anyway. Yeah, if you already doing HD supply, if that's what you mean HD, if you already doing HD supply, then yeah, T-Force would be a good transition. Derek Jackson says, I quit the cargo van business. I wish I would have listened to your advice, shaking my head. Damn. I know I've given out a lot of advice, but what was the advice that I gave you that you wish you would have listened to? One on time freight 365 said, when did I stop driving trucks? I got into the business in 2010. I retired in 2022. I've been out for 2 years. Been out for 2 years. I started in 2010. I built the business from 2010 to 2013. 2013, I removed myself from the truck, grew my fleet, got an office, a warehouse, grew my fleet, uh, maintained my fleet of trucks, ran cross dock. Pandemic hit, got back out on the truck, restructured my exit strategy from 2025 to 2022 because I was coming out in 2025 regardless, pandemic or not. Not even knowing that a pandemic was going to hit, I was coming out in 2025. I was already positioning myself to come out in 2025. Pandemic hit, I had to reposition or re-strategize my exit. I moved it up because the pandemic allowed me to. It gave me the opportunity to get out early because of, man, I could offload all my assets. I didn't even have to sell the business. I just started offloading assets for like, whoo, Lord. And now, and I always tell the story because I get asked this from people with new subscribers. What if I didn't? I would be fucked right now. I would be fucked. I would be mad. I would be thinking back like I had an opportunity to offload a bunch of asset at just, just the appreciation, because that never happens, trucks and things like that, those are depreciating assets. But man, to sell off equipment for more than you purchased it for over a decade ago, that should never happen. So um, I was able to re-strategize my exit from 2025 to 2022. So I worked those 3 years really, really hard, stacked up more money because we were able to increase our rates because we were working in extreme conditions. Um, just added that to the pot while I was offloading assets. And 2022, my exit was for December 2022. I actually even came out a little bit early. I finally called it quits October of 2022. I didn't even go all the way to December. October, that was it. So, so I've been out almost going on 2 years, and I'm happy. What's your thoughts on the dumpster rental business? I think it's a good business. Depending on the market, I think it's a good business. As long as you got the capital to get the dumpsters and you got the equipment to pick them up, drop them off. Kevin says he's been driving an international, but he wish he could drive a Freightliner. All right, I answered that on the dumpster rental business. I think it's a good business as long as you got the capital to buy the dumpsters and you got the equipment to pick the dumpsters up and drop them off. I wouldn't do like if I was starting a dumpster rental business, I wouldn't do roll off dumpsters. I would do dumpster trailers. I wouldn't do roll off dumpsters to start. See, I know this business because I studied this business because I was in the junk removal business. So when I was in the junk removal business, I had to look into different options, and I was looking at roll off dumpsters, and obviously I had a dumpster trailer. Y'all seen my dumpster trailer? I've showed it on live streams uh, before. But if I were starting just a dumpster rental business, I would do the I would do the dump trailers because you can just unattach them and just leave them there. And then if you do want to diversify and do clean outs, it'll work well for that as well. So, and then I would grow to roll off dumpsters. But my first dumpster would definitely be dumpster trailers instead of roll offs. Oh snap, Barbara Lee, yo big dog, just tapping in. Hope all is well with you and the family. Appreciate that. Hope all is well with you and the family as well. We ain't seen you in a minute. We ain't seen you in a minute, Barbara Lee. We thought you was you did what I'm saying. 10 on time, freight 365. That is awesome story. What do you do now for work? I'm an investor. I invest. Same thing I was doing while I was in the trucking business. So I just live off the investments that I built, my asset portfolios, and continue to invest. I invest into businesses, you know what I'm saying, outside of the market. And I just work, I let my money work for me now. So got to a point where you build up your asset portfolio, and then you allow your assets and your capital to work for you instead of you working for it. So that's the game plan. You work for the capital, and you get to a point where you have your capital work for you. So most of the time you just see me here, I'll be in the Discord chilling. I'll just be talking shit like I'm doing right now on the live stream. That's probably like throughout the day. I'll jump in and out on the live stream, talk shit. This is like what I do for fun. Do I believe it's time for box truck owners to find a farm area to deliver pumpkins or Christmas trees? You should have been looking into that. Now is probably the time to try to get the Christmas tree contracts. The pumpkins is a little bit too late. Do I know about the box truck market in Baltimore from a local perspective or over the road perspective for outbound freight? Not really, not local. I know there's opportunities there, but if they're plentiful or not, oh wait, hold on. I was just talking to somebody from the DMV area. No, if you're looking for local, I don't know how good it is, but y'all, you got those Baltimore, DC, and Maryland right there. So I would look into T-Force and some other like Capstone, some other 3PLs that have one man curbside final mile opportunities and see what they have. Raheem says final mile. Yeah, look at T-Force and look at Capstone and see what they got out there. Also look at NAL. I know they got some stuff going out there, but that's two man. I have 100,000 in a bank account. Should I rent box truck or buy to start? Well, your first mistake is you got 100,000 in a bank account. That's your first mistake. You got $100,000 sitting in the bank, just sitting there. That's your first mistake, pimp. He probably listening to me like, what are you talking about? That's a mistake. You got $100,000 sitting in the bank account. You tripping. You are tripping. That money just sitting there. You might as well just go to the nearest cemetery, throw that shit in the casket, and lower it 6 feet deep, because that's what it's doing. It ain't doing nothing for you sitting in the bank account, pimp. That's the first mistake you made, pimp. I have 100,000 sitting in the bank account. Should I rent a truck or should I buy it to start off? You got $100,000 in a bank account. We shouldn't even be having this discussion. Of course you should buy a truck. You got 100 racks. Why would you rent a truck? Sash, what up? Fields, what up? What up? What up? Was running up and down the East Coast, but the rates are not rating at all these days. Tell me what's going on with that. Nothing. The rates are rating. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're doing what they're supposed to do. You got to compete. Lower your cost. Lower your operational cost so you can compete. Listen, listen, listen. Everybody that's complaining about the rates, like I'm not speaking to you in general. I'm speaking in specific. I'm speaking in general. Listen, if you complaining about the rates now, everything that I've said to this point has happened. I don't care what your favorite box truck content creator says. If you complaining now, it's only going to get worse. If you can't survive in this, it's only going to get worse. So you got to tighten up. People was hitting me up to look at something today, and I finally got a chance to look at it, and it just confirmed. And there's a reason why people's like, man, Mark, did you see this video? Did you see this video? Because it confirmed that everything I've been saying is starting to come into fruition. And when that fully comes into fruition, it's gonna get tougher for you, pimp. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later on this week. Like, if you complaining now, y'all better wake up. All this shit that these people talking about, what they finna. Listen, man, y'all don't see the writings on the wall. The writing on the wall. Listen. If you having a hard time and you tripping on rates, I'm telling you the secret. Find ways to lower your cost. If you can't lower your cost, lower your lifestyle. Decrease your lifestyle. Cut. You gotta cut. You have to cut. Whatever that cutting looks like, that's what you gotta do. There's going to be a whole new infusion of people coming into this market. Like more competition is starting to come in, and it's going to be an infusion of more people coming in. Watch, wait till I'm telling you what. Have I steered you wrong yet? Have I steered you wrong yet? Got to compete. Got to compete. Lower your costs. The tougher things get for people, and the more people come in, the tougher it's going to get. The harder it's going to get. The more competition is going. The rates are going to continue to. It's going to be tougher. Phil said came across your channel today. A lot of gems. Appreciate you. Did your workers ever ask you for a ride when you ran your box truck business? Hell no, they knew better than that. Mark, they stressing you out this happy Sunday? They can't stress. Not on Sunday. I'm only finna be on here about 30 minutes. Somebody left a super chat. I think I read it already. Appreciate you. And then I want to take me a nap because I gotta go to an event tonight. So because you can rent more than buy. Hey Larry, I don't know if you trolling me, but that don't make no sense. If you got 100 grand, why would you rent anything? Because you can rent more than buy. So if you want to rent somebody else's truck and continue to enrich them and continue to pay weekly for a truck that you'll never own, when you can clearly go and cash out $25,000 on a truck, which will ultimately lower your operational costs, which means your profit margin will be bigger, which that'll equal and result to making more money. Like what you just said right there makes absolutely positively no sense, and that's just how we kick it on this channel. I tell people what it is straight out, just like that. That makes no sense because you can rent more than buy. What do you mean? What do you mean? You talking about rent more trucks? That's your third mistake. Coming in into a new business that you are don't know nothing about, you're not experienced in, trying to come in at scale. It's people that come in and can't run one truck. So now you gonna have to go through the learning curve, and the learning curve costs, and you want to go in through it at a multiple of however many trucks you rent. That makes no sense. That's not what a good business person would do. No, I don't support that. I don't advise that. I think people need to come in with one truck, learn the business, make sure that they're profitable before they scale. How do you know you're gonna be profitable? You may come in and be lost in the sauce. Now you lost in the sauce with 3 or 4 or 5 rental trucks. So that means you're losing 3 to 4 to 5 times the money. That 100,000 gonna be gone in no time. No, totally understand what you're saying, but by the time that fuel expense take out, you barely have anything left. So fuel expense is what killing you? What about all the other expenses? Your truck, your insurance. So here's the thing. You have to lower your costs. What other costs do you have? Fuel is just something that is just a part of the nature of the beast. It's just a part of the game. You can't duck and dodge fuel. You can manipulate it by looking for stations that are more inexpensive. You can sign up for cards and memberships or whatever that you can get points and get cash back. But ultimately, the truck needs diesel. That's just an expense that you're just gonna have to bear. There has to be something else that you can cut. Mm. Now, Barbara Lee, you know where I can go with this, but I know you ain't gonna want to go that route. You want to be over the road. So, any advice you get in more dedicated lanes? I'm running 426-foot trucks right now. Looking to doing some local work. Looking to doing some local work and getting some local dedicated contract routes. Everybody getting on Larry because that question made absolutely no sense. None of them questions from the 100,000 sent into the bank account. Listen, anybody that follows my channel knows one, I don't have a savings account. I think savings accounts are stupid, right? Like you can make way more money putting your money elsewhere to sit. That's gonna pay you way more money for it to sit than sitting in a savings account. There's no way I'm gonna have $100,000 just sitting in the bank dormant. That shit has to be working all the time. You dig what I'm saying? Two, you talking about renting a truck. Who like I have people who come to me that got 15, $20,000 trying to buy a truck. You got 100,000, so you say, and you talking about renting? That shit don't even make sense. That shit don't even like a person with 100 grand rental shouldn't even be in the thought process, right? So that now I'm questioning what you tell me is it factual or not? Because 100,000, a person who's sitting on 100, they not making the moves. A person who's sitting on 100 that understands money, based on those two things alone, sitting in a bank account, thinking about rental trucks, that's not indicative of a person who's really checking a bag. A person who's checking a bag wouldn't have said those two things. Renting a truck, you got 100,000. The last thing you think, you ain't thinking about no rental. You don't even know what Penske Rider Enterprise budget is. That shit, no, I don't. He gotta be trolling or something, bro. I don't know. Barbara Lee said fuel is the real killer out here, Mark. Well, here's the thing. Fuel ain't going nowhere. You need fuel, so you got to find somewhere else to cut. Here's the thing. I hear everybody complaining, but guess what? I know it can be done. Why? Because I've done it. Done it. Fuel was high back in 2014. Like fuel was higher back then than what it is now. Go look. Like 2014, 2013, 2014, going to 2015, fuel was five. Here was $5 a gallon. Hey, somebody, hey, Axel, I'm gonna spare you. Don't come in here with no bullshit. On the real. Hey, let me get a moderator to delete that last Axel message. Don't block him. Just remove that. Remove that. You know, funny thing, Axel just texts me and then he comes right into my live talking shit. Can I get a moderator to remove that last Axel? Thank you, Peppy. Appreciate that. All right, now keep it up, Axel. We're gonna put you on a timeout for a day. All right. I'm sparing you because I fuck with you, but chill, chill, chill. You know, a lot of people don't mess with you, Axel. I get a lot of flack for even being cool with you, Axel. I didn't have to go to war with some people. You take what I'm saying? But see, I know who you are behind the scenes, so they don't get that. I've actually had long conversations with them behind the scenes. So he's all right, man. He's all right. He's all right. So here's the thing, Barbara Lee. Fuel is just one of those things you got to deal with. I've had different times in my tenure where fuel was just really, really high. I know obviously on the moving side we could just increase the truck fee, but on the trucking side I had to just deal with it, right? It lowered my profit margin, but we still profited because I always make sure I had cushion for uh, things like that. If you are a single owner operator, then you are going to have to cut costs. Fuel is just one of those things that you aren't going to be able to get rid of. You need the fuel. So where can you cut? Can you cut somewhere maybe with your diet? Maybe you can, you know, pack a lunch or maybe on the side, on the personal side or the things at home that you can cut. Maybe cut the Netflix. And I'm not being funny. I'm telling you, cut the Hulu, cut the Netflix, maybe I don't know. You gotta do something. You gotta cut somewhere. You gotta cut. All right. This is what business entails. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. You have to lower your cost so that you can compete and so that you can stay in business. The fuel ain't going nowhere, big dog. If you got mud flap and all this shit, and you saving money on fuel, you getting kickbacks on fuel and all this, that, and the third, you getting cashback rewards and all that. Whatever you gotta pay, you gotta pay. You need diesel, pimp. So you gotta cut costs. I run for two Menard stores looking to start another business, property preservation. What you think? Property preservation has always been a good business. It's a tedious business because you got to write for every single thing you do. If you put a nail in, you got to write it. You remove a nail, you got to write it because that's how you get paid. You get paid for every single thing you do, all the way from putting a nail in, to taking the nail out, to cutting the grass. So you just have to make sure you have a good recorder, a good bookkeeper on everything that you do so that the bank can pay you accordingly. But yeah, I think property preservation is a good business. I know a lot of people have been in property preservation for a long time. It's a good business. It's one of those businesses though where it's like the moving industry where it's hard to find people to work and keep people because it's labor involved, but it's more of a dirtier job. So that's one of those industries that when I was getting into the moving business, property preservation was really, really big because a lot of the foreclosures that were going on due to the housing market crash back then. And that was one of those industries where you could go and get a bunch of felons to work for you. So it's a good business. ATL to Charlotte, North Carolina, 289 miles and 350 to $400, and none of those brokers want to budge. Way below your cost per mile. How can we break even? You went 289 miles and it paid you 350 to $400. What was it? It had to be a part. What was it? What was it? What did you take? What did you take from Atlanta to Charlotte for 350 to $400? I want to see what you say. Real 305, brother. There's a ton of moves you can make in Miami. Just need to get in and research. Doesn't matter what vehicle you have. Do you Google CB driver and D, etc. I didn't even see the person who wrote that. Oh, I see it. Okay, Miami for a good spot for buy. I missed that one. But we carry freight. Got it for you. Caribbean vibes. What's up? What's up? Ken Hood, what up? Hope all is well. Always looking forward to the show. Been busy working, catching on past shows along with this one. Much appreciate you for watching. Mark, what's some good night routes for box truck 26 for other than Amazon Relay based out of Kansas City, Missouri? That's the only thing that I can think of for night, bro. The only thing that I can think of that's dedicated, something like that, for night is Amazon. I really don't know. Not for night. I've never looked into night routes. Shout out to Kansas City, Missouri, though. That's the going rate? Well, if that's below your cost per mile, that means you can't take it. You gotta look for something that's gonna pay you more. That's gonna pay you more than what your cost per mile is, so that you can profit. What Barbara Lee? What type of What's your truck note? What's your insurance? What type of equipment are you working with? What are your expenses looking like? Was that $400? Was that a partial? Was it a couple pallets? It's a lot of variables that you got to tell me. I mean, I know you told me 289 miles for $350, but what's the scope of that delivery? Was it a pallet or two? Because that'll make a difference on what I'll say. Okay, well then, Well, that's why. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're telling me it's like a truckload, then, you got to let me know the full scope of the details of what's going on. All the way down to, like, what are you paying? Are you renting a truck? I forgot. Are you renting a truck? Do you own a truck? What's your truck note? What are you paying for rent? How much are you paying for insurance? What are your costs? I know you married with kids, so I know that living, I know that personal expenses. You dig what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm gonna have to do a real reality check live stream. I see that it's time for another reality check live stream. I have to do one every 3 months, man, because I gotta make sure it's fresh in the algorithm. They're telling you that's all they have in the load. Barbara, depends on who you're dealing with. What all guys are bro, why y'all think the brokers are scamming, bro? Maybe they are, but maybe they're not. Everybody's blaming somebody, bro. What is your cost, Barbara Lee? Answer that question for me. What's your cost to operate? What's your cost to operate? Because everybody's saying it's the cheap freight. They saying the broker scamming. They saying it's this. They saying it's that. There are people out here making money. Listen, if everybody was not making money, then it wouldn't be shit moving. What's your cost? That's what I want to know. How do you know brokers are scamming? That's just like saying they. Hurry up and buy. Hey, let's keep an eye on hurry up and buy. As soon as he start tweaking, give me a second so I can jump on, and then this ninja. Hold on, I want to see what this hurry up and buy person finna say. No, it's the drivers not negotiating, booking a good load. Lou Jackson similar kind of agrees with me, which is not normal, but Barbara Lee, you can't just say it and not substantiate it. Nah, I don't want no beef, bro. We good. How you been? How's the market going? Market's going lovely. Stock market's going lovely. Crypto, but I divested. I took all my profits out for the most part before it tanked. I saw it coming. I'm heavy in the stock market. When's the next calling show? Actually, this is calling show week. Thanks for reminding me. Probably, I don't know, tomorrow, sometime between tomorrow and Wednesday, depending on when I feel like it. Depending on when I feel like it. This is calling show week. Trucker is in a slump. Nvidia is running hard though. Nvidia definitely rebounded. I appreciated it going under $100 a week or two ago. I scooped up I scooped up more shares when it went under 100. That was great. I hope it go back under 100 again. I ain't ready for it to run up. Listen, I want to accumulate for a whole year. I want to accumulate for a whole year, and then in 2026, let's run. All 2025, I want to just accumulate. 2026, let's run. The brokers are scamming, bro. I don't know about that. Maybe some of them are. Maybe some of them aren't. I don't know. I just can't say that, bro. I know people that's out here that's winning, bro. I talk to people every day in trucking that's winning, bro. Hey, I need to know what your cost is, Barbara Lee. See, Barbara Lee, you not telling me what your cost to operate is. What's your operational cost? What's your cost per mile? It's simple. Tell me what your cost is. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. Because you still ain't answered that question. But you've been blaming people. You can't blame nobody. We need to know what the cost is, big dog. What's the cost? Barbara, Yellow Diamond. What does this say? Yellow Diamond works with my factoring company. No problem with Yellow Diamond. I'm in the Texas market. I'm averaging between 185 to 205 per mile, but I work with the same brokers with the relationship I've built. Barbara Lee, what is your cost? What is your cost, Barbara Lee? We want to know Barbara Lee's operational cost. Barbara Lee, what's your cost? You placing the blame on people. We got to know your cost now. Barbara Lee don't have a van. He got a 26 footer. We waiting on your cost, Barbara Lee. I've been asking you for the past 10 minutes, and you telling me about brokers scamming and exposing and everything but your cost. Now I know you a protege of Kirky Fresh now, so I know I can say Kirky Fresh will make sure you know your cost. So what's your cost, Barbara Lee? What's your cost? I know your wife probably mad at me and but what's your cost? What's your cost? You think trucking going to shake back in Q2 after the election? I think what you see is what you get. I think if you complaining now, I think you're gonna really be complaining if you're still around. Let me say that, man. A lot of people send me that video of old girl with the food truck. Who saw the video of old girl with the food truck? I'm gonna kick it with y'all for a few more minutes and then I gotta go. Who saw the video of old girl with the food truck? If you saw the video with old girl and the food truck, put one in the chat. Put one in the chat. I'm just curious to see how many people saw this so I can understand how many people gonna understand this shit when I explain it. I've already said this shit, but I want y'all really to understand this shit. You actually need to see that shit so that you could feel that shit. Alright? So a lot of people didn't see it. So I'm probably not even going to talk on it because if you didn't see it, it's going to be hard for you to really visualize what I'm talking about and understand it. Like that's some shit that you're going to feel when you see it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I have to do a live stream where I actually have to pull it up on the screen and then do the context to go along with it. But people didn't see it. So I'm not going to talk about it. So what I'm going to say is, I'm going to say this. If you are having a hard time now, this shit going to get harder. If you can't maneuver now, it's only going to get tougher. Anybody with common enough sense can realize that. If you don't see what's coming, especially y'all middle Americans, the more I talk to y'all middle Americans, y'all are the most naive people. Y'all just so naive because y'all aren't abreast to what's really going on out here because y'all live in the middle of nowhere and y'all just don't see shit that the big places see. But I'm telling you what's finna happen. We finna start sending them to y'all little small towns. They already been coming. They've been popping up in Iowa. They've been popping up. Listen, North Carolina, all you guys in Charlotte, South Carolina, Columbia, all you guys in Virginia, Columbus, Akron, down in Indianapolis, Nashville, Des Moines, Lexington, Louisville, uh, 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 um, uh, Lincoln, Nebraska. Just keep being naive. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because you know in another year or two I'm gonna be just like how I like to tell you I told you so now about the shit I told you 2 years ago when you didn't listen to me and when you said nah I didn't know what I was talking about and then how I always throw it in your face now. I'll be here in 2 years in 2026. I'm gonna be like, remember in 2024 I told you this was gonna happen? You didn't do what was in your best interest. You didn't see the writing on the wall because you were so focused on whatever the fuck you was looking at on Instagram, them chicks bouncing their ass and making their ass clap and all this goofball ass shit, instead of focusing on the things that ultimately affect you in a positive and or negative way for you and your business. I told you, it's about to come. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep you I'm gonna keep you abreast. Don't worry about it. I ran a load from New Jersey to Duncan, South Carolina. The broker listed as a partial and fully well known customer paid for a load. I got a nerve to tell me it was been run dedicated. Barbara Lee, you need to come up off the road, pimp. You need to come up off the road. You need to go local, something, bro. I mean, listen, it's only gonna get tougher from here, bro. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. Competition finna get more fierce. I'm telling you. Y'all thinking it's a joke. Y'all thought it was a joke when I told you Amazon was finna start buying trucks. Y'all didn't listen to me. Now y'all complaining. Why? Because there's less loads on that load board because they giving a lot half of those loads to their own trucks, right? Y'all didn't listen to me for that. I'm telling everything I tell you, y'all don't listen. You got to figure out a way to make money. Lower your cost. You still haven't told me what your operational cost is, Barbara Lee. Listen, Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee. I need to know what your operational cost is. You still haven't told me. How much does it cost you to operate? Mr. Transportation System, Mark, do you run per mile company or moving company? I own a moving company and a trucking company, final mile home delivery trucking company. I'm retired. I ran from 2010 to 2022. I retired. I took the opportunity during the pandemic to exit, sold all my equipment at a high value because there was a bunch of retards that were coming in that were willing to pay triple for trucks than what they were worth and more than what I paid for them over a decade ago. So I took the opportunity and got the hell out. And listen, I am so happy I did. I, man, if I would have stayed in, I would be fucked right now. Whew, I would have missed out on so much money, right? I'd have missed out on so much money. I would be sitting on so much equipment that would just be sitting. I wouldn't have nobody to sell this shit to now because nobody has any money. Man, bro, I, I thank God every day. I thank God every day. Hey, check it out. Hey, Barbara Lee, you still ain't told me your cost, pimp. You can't come and complain. You know, it's just like the call-in show. If you want to complain, you got to come up off your cost. How much does it cost you to operate? You dodging the question. You dodging the question. Listen, what is your operational cost? What does it cost you to operate? You can't dodge. You out here now. You gonna come and complain. We need to make sure that the complaints have merit behind them. Do your complaints hold merit? Meaning, what's your operational cost, pimp? We need to know what it's costing you to run. All right, so the good thing is I found me a good insurance broker. Went from paying $1,989 to $950. Just made a little over a year. Still ain't told me his cost to operate. Everything but what I'm asking for. I don't know. Maybe he can't hear me. Maybe he can't hear me. I don't know. I don't know. When it get time to asking people what their operational cost is, and it's just I don't know, bro. Within the next 2 to 3 years, migrants that came in will have paperwork to take. Many of these jobs people are already fighting for. The competition will be fierce for sure. It's already getting to that point. So I'm gonna talk about something. I'm gonna show something. It's gonna be another industry, but I'm going to correlate. I'm gonna show you how that's gonna affect the trucking industry. I'm gonna give you a clue. More states are giving illegal migrants driver's license. They already got them here. If you're illegal here, Illinois Secretary of State, you can go get you a driver's license. Our governor passed that. All the blue governors, all the Democratic governors are passing it. All right. So that's step one. Driver's license mean they can take a driving job. They're already given the work permits. So that means they can work already, but now they can drive, which means they can take driving jobs, which they're already earning. They're already getting subsidies. They're getting $10,000 a month on their link, $5,000 cash. So they're working, they're getting subsidies, which means they can save money. They're making more money than you because they're getting, it's like PPP for them. They get to work and get free money and get free food. So they don't even, the money they make, they don't even have to spend it because they're getting link And then they live in a shelter. So they're getting money on their card for cash. They're getting food on their card. They work in a job and they live in a shelter. Wait till I talk about this shit. Y'all be tripping. Keep complaining. Keep complaining. If you can't read the writings on the wall, today's the brokers and cheap freight. In 2 years, it's gonna be all these. Man, I'm gonna do a live stream. I'm gonna go to a few migrant shelters. I'm gonna interview a few of them, or I'm gonna go up to the Home Depot tomorrow. I might go up to the Home Depot and talk to a few of them. I want to interview a few of them and see if they want to get into trucking. I'm gonna do a social experiment. I'm gonna list my trucks on the marketplace. I'm not gonna sell them. I'm gonna waste some people's times. But we're gonna do a social experiment. I'm gonna list my trucks for sale, and I'm gonna see who inquires. I want to see who inquires. I'm gonna meet them at the yard. I'm gonna let them test drive. I ain't gonna sell it to them though. I ain't gonna sell it to them. I want to see who comes. I want to see who comes. I want to know if they documented, undocumented, legal, illegal. I want to see who come by these trucks. I already know who coming, and I know they got the money. I see them already. I'm gonna waste their time. I ain't selling them shit. But I have to do a social experiment so that y'all can see. Because y'all live in middle America, man. Y'all don't see the shit that we see. You gonna see it though, real soon. Cause they already spreading out. You gonna see it. You gonna feel it. Not only is you gonna see it, you gonna feel it. Now keep bullshitting if you want to. Your favorite content creator, they live in middle America too. Most of your favorite content creators live in middle America. They don't see this shit. They talking about tap in and hit the link. See, they not telling you what's to come. See, you gonna tap in, hit the link, you gonna buy something, you finna make $1 million, and then boom, you gonna get your shit, and then a year you gonna get hit with that. Like, damn, I didn't see this coming. I'm telling you when it's coming, pimp. I got people on the internet, people out here crying and shit because they can't get fucking EBT, and these motherfuckers coming getting out and they getting EBT, they getting EBT and cash and working and living in a motherfucking shelter. Man, y'all tripping, boy. Tripping. You complaining now, boy. Wait, just wait, wait. If you can't see this shit, boy, you tweaking. So put your boots on, pimp. Put your boots on, pimp. Hey, that snow finna be deep. Like Alex say, winter's coming. You better put your boots on, pimp. And I ain't saying it. I'm not making it humorous and shit, but now I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. I'm finna listen. I'm gonna list these trucks. I'm finna waste these folks' time. They gonna come up here all happy. Call. What the others, migo? I know English, no English. Translate, Google Translate. I'm gonna tell them where to come. I'm gonna let them touch shit and finagle with shit and drive it. I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna let y'all see it and shit. You dig what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna tell them, all right, man, let me go get this let me let me go get the title. I'll be right back. And I ain't gonna come back or they go, man, you dig what I'm saying? But I'm gonna show you who's coming to purchase them. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna sell it to. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. I ain't gonna sell it to them. I ain't gonna help them beat y'all. So don't you ain't gotta worry about me. I ain't gonna sell them to them. All right, don't worry about it. I got you. Still waiting on Barber Lee to tell us his cost. I'm disappointed in Barber Lee because I think at this point he don't know. I saw some Afghanistan people here in Minnesota. They first brought her mom, then Somalians. Each Somalian family got 50K in Section 8. Yeah, I heard them. heard the Somalians deep up in Minnesota. Why they pick Minnesota? I heard they heavy up there in Minnesota. Why they pick Minnesota? Coming from Somalia. Like they picked one of the coldest, most snowiest places. Thought they would have picked something a little bit warmer. Why they settle up in Minnesota? Alright. So hey, Barbara Lee still didn't tell us what his cost per mile is? Barbara Lee, you still here? You complaining about the brokers and everybody, you gotta let us know what your cost per mile is so we can help you out. So we can see if it's a you problem or if it's a they problem. Because the way you going right now, I'm thinking it might be a you problem. Because I keep saying you gotta lower your costs, but you won't tell me your cost per mile. Voting numbers, this state only have 5 million people. Most live in the Twin Cities. Oh, excuse me. Man, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off tonight, but I gotta go out. I'm TV. I just want to go to bed. Ah, man. Problem is they don't know how to figure it. I'm surprised at Barbara Lee. I'm surprised at Barbara Lee. Barbara Lee should know his cost per mile. I'm really shocked at Barbara Lee. I am shocked. I'm shocked. I am really shocked. That's crazy, man. That's a simple number. Dollar sign, a number, a period, and two numbers. Like, come on, man. You got to do better. All right. I think I answered everybody's question. I didn't talk some shit. Um, we can't blame. Listen. I'm gonna say this before I go. Even when Trump takes office, he won't be able to reverse what's already in play with the workforce. They ain't gonna be able to scoop up everybody. I agree. I'm gonna say this before I bounce. And it don't matter who it is. I prove this shit every time. Anytime people complain, same. Every time somebody complains, it's the same situation. Either they um, making bad choices and decisions personally for the business, living above and beyond their means one way or another, or they don't know the operational cost. You gotta know your cost to operate. I tell you this shit all the time. You show me somebody that complain, I'm gonna show you somebody that don't know what it costs to operate. Ain't I been saying that? I haven't been proven wrong yet. You show me somebody that complain, because here's the thing: when you know what it costs you to run your business, you're gonna do everything in your business to profit. You don't have time to complain. I know it costs me $1, right, to operate, so I need to run for this much so that I can profit. And you're constantly focused on running for that much to profit. You don't got time to complain. It's the people who don't know what it costs for them to run that have time to fucking complain. I don't care who they is. I don't care how cool we are or how not cool we are. I'm gonna hold everybody accountable. You come over here complaining, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you don't know the answer, it's gonna further prove my point. You show me somebody that complaining. I'm gonna show you a person who don't know their cost, their operational cost, or a person who making bad decisions. And I've been telling you that. I've been telling y'all that. And I've been proving it. Still yet. I'm still waiting for somebody to complain that if you come here and you complain, you better know
your cost per mile. You better know what it costs you to operate. You're not finna come to me, and I ain't speaking to him, I'm speaking to everybody. And then, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear all that shit. You can't complain if you don't know what your operational cost is. Period. If I know, if I know I'm running a moving company and I'm paying $20 an hour per man, I'm not going to charge 40 fucking dollars an hour. I'm charging $100 an hour. You know why? Because I'm making $60 an hour off the labor, pimp. I'm making a profit off these motherfuckers running up and down these stairs. I'm not going to charge 40 fucking dollars an hour. That's why you don't never catch me complaining. Because I know what it costs to operate. I know how much the fuel costs. I know how much each fucking roll of shrink wrap. I know each case of shrink wrap cost me 67 fucking dollars. After tax, that shit come out to $71. That's a little less than $20 a roll. I know how much a case of tape costs. I know each roll in that case in that case cost me about $2.60 some cent. I know these blankets. I know how much an 80 pound, how much 80 pound blankets cost, how much 100 pound blankets cost. I know how many times I can reuse them before we need to send them to the laundromat to get washed. If a person want to pay credit card, if we swipe the credit card, it's 2.9%. If we manually input the credit card, it's 3.5% plus 15 cents. I know all this fucking shit. What the fuck? Like people don't even know they cost to operate. This is why you complain. Because you don't know where your money is going because you don't know how much it's costing you to run. You show me a person who complains. I don't give a fuck if they complain about the freight is cheap, the brokers, whatever. I'm gonna show you a person who doesn't know their operational cost or makes bad decisions. Because if a person says if they complain, I say, man, what's your cost? Boom, they give me their cost. I confirm that that's actually their cost because you know I'm just not gonna take their word for it. We confirm that that's really their cost, and then we can help give them a strategy, or we can tell them what they're doing is wrong to help them. But nobody seems to know their cost. Now, I find that quite strange. This is why I say I don't want to hear this shit. So, how does it work with renting a truck and insurance? Do we pay for insurance ourselves? You absolutely 100% do. You absolutely do. All right, man. Y'all gave me a headache. I got a headache. All right. Nobody knows their costs in this fucking industry. Everybody complains and shit. Everybody gets a truck. I'm a box truck owner operator, but no one knows how much it costs to be a box truck owner operator. You get a truck, but you don't know what it costs you to run this motherfucker. Shit is crazy. Type of shit is. What y'all? All right, man. I'm gone. This shit don't make no sense.